Hello, everyone. I'm your host, Chris Garris, and welcome to the Transporter Room. Today, we have a very special guest join us, Carrie Schwent. Carrie is one of the associate producers for the Seventh Rule podcast and one hell of a Star Trek fan. So let's beam her in. Hey, Carrie, how you doing?
Hey, I'm good.
Oh man, well, thank you for coming on tonight. I appreciate you giving me your time. I know it's the end of the week. It's a Friday night, and we could just be relaxing and watching some Star Trek, but hey, got to do what I got to do.
As do we all.
Yes, we do. So, how's your day been? Not too crazy?
Oh, I'm doing some wall rehanging and rearranging and listening to the Cubs beat the snot out of the White Sox today, which was a fantastic game. So, in addition to being a diehard Star Trek fan, I am also a diehard Cubby fan.
I wish I could say I was a baseball fan. I just have never been able to get into it. I've tried, but I've been to Astros games and I'm like, is it over yet? Can we go?
Fair. It's not for
It's
everybody.
just not fast enough for me. Nah, it's just not fast enough. I like basketball and football, not college football, not really the NFL as much, but but anyway, I want to let you know that I have really enjoyed getting to, meet you since I joined the Seventh Rule. Y'all have, everybody's just been welcoming and just with open arms and just so freaking nice and just fun to hang out with and talk all things Star Trek
Oh yeah,
when we're done.
yeah. It's always a good time.
Um, oh, it is. It really is. And that's something I was wondering about. Like, so how did you learn about the seventh rule to get onto the channel and stuff like that? Did you start out as an associate producer or did you work your way up? So,
Let's see. I'm trying to remember exactly. I think it started up. I think finding out about Robbie and Garrett's podcast, the Delta Flyers, first on the cruise, on the Star Trek cruise, and I think it was around the same time at some point during that cruise that I also found out about the Seventh Rule and Delta Flyers and the Seventh Rule. I think were the two podcasts I started listening to when I started the job I'm currently in, that allows me to listen to things during the day. And I started off very slowly, and now pretty much all I listen to at work is podcast now, which is so much fun. And yeah, started off with just Delta Flyers, and I think in one of the early episodes, I think Garrett must have mentioned the Seventh Rule at some point. Started and knew about Aaron passing. I think it was on that same cruise that at Chase usually hosts a karaoke session. Chase Masterson usually hosts a karaoke session, like the first or second night of the cruise, and we had just lost both Aaron and Renee Aubergenois, and so we went up to say hi. She walks around and says hi to everybody, and we went up. My husband and I went up to her and expressed our condolences about both Aaron and Renee because she knew both of them. Aaron more so, and we've sort of been kind of friends with her ever since, and we support her charity, and it just slowly just sort of slowly worked its way into my kind of everyday, and binged my way through the episodes, and knowing about when Aaron passed, listening to those podcasts at work. I was very glad we still had to wear masks at work at that point because I'm a sympathetic crier, and I'm like, oh, it's a good thing I'm wearing a mask right now. And slowly got caught up, and eventually went on to Patreon. Delta Flyers and the Seventh Rule were the first two I subscribed to on Patreon at just like the $5 level for both, and binged my way through the Seventh Rule. It took a while before I got a bit more caught up with the Delta Flyers, but yeah, worked my way through it and went to a convention in Chicago. I can't remember which cruise it was. It was I went down there for the day because it was I had heard it was going to be the last in person appearance for Kenneth Mitchell, and so I had to go down there for that and met a couple different people from the Seventh Rule, and I fangirled all over Tierney C. Diekman. Got a picture with her, and I hung out and got to meet Anne Marie, who is just as even more adorable in person as she is on the free for alls, if that's even possible. She just vibrates. And
Hmm.
it was a couple of months after that I decided to splurge and do the first free for alls, and I'm actually coming up on my third anniversary
Oh,
of my
wow.
first free for all.
Wow. You've been doing this for a while.
Yeah, I thought I was only going to do it for like a month or two, but I'm just so hooked on it now. I don't want to stop. I'm having too much fun.
I know it's hard because every now and then I'm thinking like, okay, I can't make them all the time. I mean, I make most of them, but still, I'm like, do I want to stop? But then I'm like, no, I can't because it's especially like on certain episodes. I'm like, I want to be there for them to hear not just my own, what I'm going to say, but what everybody else is going to say, because sometimes I've noticed from me personally, and I bet I probably you as well, what I thought something meant is I was maybe off or, someone else, corroborated like, oh yeah, so that's what I did think what I was, picked up what I was thinking about, because I've had that happen at least one or two episodes that I know of for certain that like I realized, oh, they're talking about this, and I thought it, and then luckily everybody else, chimed in. I was like, okay, good. I was right. That's what I was thinking. Um, and then like I remember the episode like Half Alive, and some of the other ones, are just great to get to talk with other people. Um, God, and I'm trying to remember one we just did. Oh gosh, I don't think it's been released yet, but it was which one was it? Oh, um, the one with Worf. When he gets to his back, is breaks his back.
Yeah, that one I
Did,
had to
did you
skip.
make that one?
That one I had to skip. I had a
Okay,
recent
yeah, I couldn't remember.
family death, and I just
That's right.
I couldn't cry on camera again so soon.
No, and that's totally understandable. And I couldn't remember which one it was, but yeah, it was like I don't blame you, but it was so good just to come and hear what other people's thoughts, and that's what I love about the free for alls is that we may not all agree, but we get to hear each other's perspectives.
Oh yeah, I'm the champion of the unpopular opinion. I like to call myself, especially the unpopular episodes. They're,
Well,
they're
and if
fun.
I remember correctly, you're one of the, I would say, aren't you kind of in the minority on Section 31
Yes.
a little
Hmm.
bit?
Yep. I am firmly aware how in the minority I am on that.
I'm with you. I'm still with you on it. Most of it. I mean, it is what it is. I know a lot of people didn't like it, but uh, I mean, well, with what just happened happened like what Wednesday with Prodigy not being
Oh,
renewed.
I wanted to throw something when I read that.
Yeah, and that's the problem. We watch the stuff and we try and watch it, but then I was talking with someone, I think it was in the live chat last night on the salon, and I'm kind of curious to get your opinion about this. Is like, I feel like Paramount does not market their shows anymore as effectively as they used to because I mean they just released the Strange New World, they just now let us know when it's coming out. And I'm just like, come on, guys, y'all need to market this stuff a lot better than they are.
Yeah, I would tend to agree, and I firmly plan on buying the Blu-rays for both the first two seasons of Prodigy because they're going to be leaving Netflix sooner rather than later, and who knows if it'll end up back on Paramount or not. So if you've ever been to my house, I am practically my own video store. I own so much physical media between DVDs, Blu-rays, and seasons of TV shows. I have that many. It's crazy, but I plan on adding Prodigy to that sooner rather than later.
One of these days, you need to count every single disc you have to see what you to get your real number
I
of video.
just found an app that I haven't started using yet that I've only just downloaded that you can scan the barcodes on the back of your physical media to like create like a digital catalog. I'll have to do that, and then that'll probably help tell me just how much I've got
And
because I do
then
have
you
a
probably
lot.
don't want to know. And then you're like, oh, I didn't realize I had that much, but it's okay.
That's
So I
okay.
did want to talk to you. Oh, I know. And I did want to have, because for a lot of people out there, they don't always get to go to the conventions or the cruise. And, I guess just, kind of talk about like how many conventions have you been to? And like, I think, have you been to STLV? I cannot remember.
I've not been to STLV. No, my husband and I got married in Vegas around the same time of year that STLV is our on July 23rd is our anniversary. And that time of year in Vegas, it is so stinking hot. I don't deal with heat that high terribly well. I tend to wilt. And also as a former smoker, the smell of just cigarette smoke just makes me queasy. And there's still a lot of places in Vegas where they allow smoking, so the smell kind of tends to be everywhere. So that's kind of discouraging discouraging me from coming to that. And also, I've been on the cruise enough times that I feel like I'm spoiled by the cruise. It's just so much more fun. Yeah, besides the cruise, I've been to two regular Star Trek conventions just for like a day or two, and I've been to the Cubs convention twice. We went the first time the year after they won the World Series in 2016 and got our picture with the championship trophy and all that.
Oh, that's cool. Are you going to Trek to Chicago this year? I can't remember.
I looked it up. I think I'm gonna definitely gonna try to for sure.
Okay. So you mentioned the ultimate convention, Star Trek The Cruise. Okay. So as we were talking off camera before we got started, I'm planning on going in 2026. And so honestly, tell tell us, the people that have never been, which is including myself, what is it like to go on a Star Trek cruise and spend, was it, I think, what, 7 days out there? Okay, just, yeah, let's get the nice 10-minute rundown of the cruise.
Yeah, we had no idea it was a thing until the second year they ran it. My husband follows George Takei's Facebook page, and he had posted that he was going to be on Star Trek: The Cruise too, and we looked at that and went, "There's a Star Trek cruise." I I inherited my love of cruising. I think from my mom before my mother passed in 2018. I think her and my dad went on like 9 cruises, and I had my husband and I had and my son had been on a couple of cruises prior to the first Star Trek cruise that we went on. So I was familiar with the routine a little bit. But Star Trek: The Cruise is, and I just thought of this comparison. It's the perfect love child of a Star Trek convention and summer camp on a cruise ship. it's a week long, never ending Star Trek convention. You're hanging out with people. There are people that do the cosplay thing, like uniforms and that. They will wear their uniform like the entire week. You can literally wear whatever you want. You can do the just t-shirts and shorts things, or you can do the cosplay thing like every day. A lot of people will do the cosplay in the evening because every night there's a different theme for the evening. There's usually the usual formal night that has some sort of Star Trekian sort of designation to it. Like our first one was Captain Sulu's soiree, and one year was the Gorn's formal. The Gorn usually has one of the nights are usually designated a Gorn evening. It's been the
I've seen
Gorn
that.
pajama party a couple of times, which is always a good time. So you've got people walking around in Gorn outfits, and there's always
Oh
the Gorn
gosh.
Gong show, like talent show,
The Gong
a
Show?
Gorn Gong show. It's talent show that cruisers can sign up for, and you try not to get the Gorn to come out and hit the gong, and sometimes he'll come out and he'll pretend like he's gonna gong, but then he's just like dancing behind some people sometimes, and then every now and then he does eventually hit the gong, and then the next person comes out and does their thing. But yeah, there's all the activities to do. There's the usual autograph and photograph sessions, but there's just fun random activities. The different there's usually like a couple dozen of the different actors from the different Star Trek series that are represented, and they do fun things during the day. Like usually one or two of them will host a yoga class in the morning a couple of times. Just all kinds of fun thing. And every evening there's the big show in the main theater that they split up between red cards and blue cards depending on which time in the evening you prefer to go. So they have it split between those two. And every year it's hysterical. One night's always a game, usually a Trek version of Hollywood Squares.
So I didn't see just because I didn't see the picture doesn't mean it didn't happen. I know this on the 2025 cruise they did like Family Feud. Did they
Yes,
still do Hollywood Squares or not? Or just
yeah,
Family Feud?
they do Hollywood Squares. They've done every year that we've gone. We've been on six of them so far. 2026 will be number seven for us. And yeah, every year they've done the Hollywood Squares. I think they've only done the Family Feud on the big stage. I think just the once. But the
Okay.
Hollywood Squares they do every year.
That sounds like so much. I'll be honest. You know what finally sold me on it was when I saw pictures and TJ was up on stage doing Family Feud, and I was like, I gotta go. I gotta bite the bullet and do it. I just because he's another cruiser. But I've heard from you. Well, obviously you now and other people. It's even the actors. At first they might be a little they're getting used to it, but by the end of the week they're like everybody's just cool. Like you may and wind up in the elevator with Frakes
Mm.
or Connor
Oh
or
yeah.
freaking Garrett Wank,
Hmm.
you know, and they're just like, okay, that's cool.
Yep. I ended up in
It's
an
just
elevator with Garrett one fine day. The hubby and I don't remember where we were going, but I was finishing a Facebook post, and right as I hit send, my husband taps me on the shoulder as we get into the elevator. I look up and there's Garrett standing there by the controls. So we chatted for a bit, and I've gotten now the chance to thank both Garrett and this past cruise Robbie for the inspiration for the limericks that I do for the seventh rule free for alls.
okay. Well, I was going to ask you that, and I did not know. That's so. I was going to. We'll get back in the cruise or more, but how did you? I was wondering. So that's how you started the limericks.
Yeah, when I decided I was going to join the free for alls, I wanted to do something to sort of cap off like my turn instead of just stopping talking, because I'm super anxious about talking on stuff. I still get anxious for them, even though I've been doing them almost three years now. And one day I was listening to the couple of Delta Flyers episode and hearing their their poetry synopsis, and thought, you know what, why don't I try that? And since I hadn't done poetry since high school, I decided to start off slow and do haikus, since haikus feel a little bit more serious to me. I joined partway through season 7 of Deep Space Nine. Sadly for me, 2 weeks too late to join in the free for all discussion for Take Me Out to the Hollow Suite, because as a baseball fan, I really wanted to do that one and I missed it by this much. And then when we switched to doing the next generation, I thought, you know what? So I did haikus for Deep Space Nine. I'll switch to limericks for next generation. And I had forgotten until we were in the middle of the discussion for the Naked Now, where Data starts to rattle off that limerick and gets caught off, that very famous limerick. And it didn't occur to me till just then. Then I'm like, I had forgotten that tries to say that limerick when I decided to switch to limericks. And there are so many in the first couple seasons that practically wrote themselves. And they started off as like synopsis style, like Robbie and Garrett do, and then they slowly started, like, some tidbit or character moment from the episode just started sort of waving at me like, "Hey, do the limerick about me and not just about the episode in general." So the limericks is sort of more kind of into that way, so they're not just a straight synopsis really anymore. I'll usually pick something from the episode to focus the limerick on. And when we did the free for all for the Wrath of Khan for the Greatest Generations pod crawl, I branched out and and braved it and did a sonnet. That was a challenge, but I think it turned out pretty well. I think, but they've been so
Yeah, I
much
was
fun
on
to
that one if I
do,
remember correctly. Hmm.
and I finally got to
But
thank
that's
both
a
of
good
them.
idea because I'm with you on that. Like when we're doing them, I'm like I never know. "Yeah, I'm done. Like, and what do you just stop talking. And I'm like, and it makes sense. Yeah. Come up with some way of saying, instead of just like, I just sit there for a second. And he's like, all right. And moves on to the next person. At least if we had some cue, we would know when we're done. Oh, well, I don't think I'm going to come up with anything between now and, oh, yeah. Yeah. I don't think I'm coming up with anything between now and tomorrow afternoon. Um, and something, and yeah. And I was going to ask, I know we're talking about cruises, and when you start talking about cruises, you said, and you gave your lineage of them, and with what came out this week or this last weekend, you were on the 2020 cruise where they started filming the Voyager stuff, the
Yes.
cast. I'm assuming.
Mm.
Okay, so what was I'm a okay. So what I don't know if you saw the crew filming or anything like that. What was that had to be a fun one to be on to listen to because like they do that. Well, I can say this because it's out. I don't know. Have you seen the documentary yet?
They actually did. They did a screening of it on this year's cruise, so
Oh,
we got
that's
to see
right. I
it.
forgot. So you have seen it.
Hmm.
I like how they start with that panel or the panel from the
Yeah.
cruise of
Hmm. I
2020.
remember that panel. That was a great panel.
Yeah, where I'm as well. Obviously you were in the audience when that happened.
Hmm.
Now
Yeah.
I
At
just
one point, the
oh
ship
man,
hit a bump, and poor Jerry Ryan just went, ah.
I wonder. So that's kind of funny because I was watching it and you can actually see the big screen behind them during that recording. You see the it kind of swaying. Now it may just be doing it all the time, but still, you could definitely
A
see it
little bit.
swaying.
Yeah. Depending on
Oh
how
man,
active the ocean is. Yeah.
yeah. Yeah, I was talking to who was it? Was it one of our other seventh row members? Somebody who's gone on cruises before was giving me some insights on. I've never been on a cruise. Now I've been on like the gambling boats, the big gambling cruise ships, but they're not even as big as this. And I've never gotten seasick. But they were like, there's different types of. I've been told that a cruise is it's the ships are so large, you don't always feel.
Yeah, it depends on where you are on the ship. If you're in the middle in the main like promenade area, unless the waves are really rocking, you don't really notice. You definitely notice more when you're on either end of the ship, like especially in the Princess Theater. You could really feel it in there, depending on how active it is. But yeah, I take Dramamine twice a day, and I'm perfectly fine.
Well, good. Well, good to know. Hopefully, I will take something with me as a precaution, just to be on the safe side. I've never gotten seasick, so we'll see. Um, well, I cannot wait to, for one, meet you in person on the cruise. If I don't meet you in Dallas, I mean Chicago. I've only dreamed they'd come back to Dallas this year. And TJ and let's see here, who else have I run into that's going to be on there? Several other people that we know that are going, so that'll be
I think
fun.
Cassandra should be.
Oh yes, Cassandra, she'll be there. So hey, at least I have people I'll know that can train this rookie on how to do
Oh
cruising.
yeah, we got yeah. TJ and I got your back.
Well, I appreciate that.
TJ's been on all of them.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, y'all have finally, yes, y'all have convinced me to do it. So thank you for the peer pressure.
It's
I'm
absolutely worth it.
I'm still resisting STLV this year so far, but we'll see. I'm every every day I get closer to cracking and making it a short trip, but we'll see. So now I want to get into some of your Star Trek history, and I've always wondered, with like all of us, what first drew you to Star Trek?
It was my memory's not the greatest, but I remember it, being on, and I remember watching like near the last season, I think, of Next Generation. I don't remember how much of Deep Space Nine I watched back then, but Voyager I think was the first one that I watched every episode, like beginning to end, and Enterprise. My ex and I both were into Trek, so we watched all of Voyager and we watched all of Enterprise.
Hmm. Well, yeah, mine was obviously TNG's, what was on when I was growing up, and also just Star Wars and sci-fi with cousins and movies and all that type of stuff. That's what got me into it. Um, so I'm not really sure. I've never heard you talk about that. I can remember, like your favorite series of all of them. And I know that's always a loaded question to find out what.
Before I joined the Seventh World, I would have easily said Voyager, because that's the one I've rewatched. I think the most is Voyager, but it's since quickly become Lower Decks. That one is my go-to if I need to have a good laugh. Every single episode is hysterical. I wasn't sure about I don't watch a ton of anything animated generally, but my current husband and I, we gave it a try, and by the time it got to the opening credits, we're like, okay, we're in. This is hysterical. I need lots and lots and lots of this.
I'm there with you. I've always been like animation, especially as an adult, and I heard about this lower decks thing, and I finally, gave it a shot, and yeah, I'm right there with you. It's not me, and I guess not my favorite per se, but I enjoy every episode, and I, I was telling somebody one time, I think it might have been Chuck I was talking to, but I said, if and it wasn't really Lower Decks, it was Strange New Worlds. But that crossover episode, oh my
Mm-hmm.
god,
Oh,
had been
one of my
was on
favorite
like,
things ever.
oh god, if it was on VHS, I'd have to buy a new tape because I would have already worn that sucker out.
Oh yeah, I remember the days when you could wear out a VHS tape by watching it too many times.
Yeah, I know, but yeah, I just that
Oh yeah.
I would. Oh my god, I would love. I know they probably aren't, but oh, can you just imagine if they did another one for Strange New Worlds season 3? Oh,
Oh,
that
yes,
would be.
please. Yeah,
I know. I'm like, yes,
yeah.
please let us have.
Tony is a gem.
Yes. Oh my god, and she's
Yeah,
just
and
so
I
funny.
knew what, yeah, and I knew what the actor that plays Boimler looked like in real life, because I'm also a fan of of him on The Boys, and that is, yeah, definitely very adult. That show is not for children. Definitely not for children.
No, I haven't finished it. I've seen a couple episodes of it, and I was like, "Oh, okay, that's pretty brutal." Yeah. But it's hard to fathom seeing someone like Boimler in a show like that, though, because he's Boimler now. He's Boimler.
Yeah, every now and then when he squeals as Huey, I hear Boimler in it, and kind of vice versa.
That's funny. So, okay, so Lower Decks is your favorite series. Hmm. I'm curious if your favorite character comes from there or another series.
I kind of have a favorite on. I don't know. I have a favorite on on each series generally. Actually, no, I take that back. I do have a number one favorite, Tilly on from Star Trek Discovery. I love Star Trek Discovery is a very close number two on my favorites list. I loved every single episode of it.
All right. I haven't really heard so far to date of everybody I've talked to. I have not heard Discovery come up on the list yet. I think you're the first one.
Yeah, it's kind of has a similar opinion overall generally that people kind of had for Section 31, but I enjoyed the heck out of it. The first time, by the end of Tilly's first scene, I'm like, okay, Tilly is me. I feel just as awkward as she does most of the time, and tripping over herself and her words. And when they announced her, she was on the cruise this past year, and the year before when they announced, do like the announcement of like the first group of people that's coming. I was sitting next to TJ during that announcement, and when they put Tilly up on the screen, I was jumping up and down on my seat so much. I felt like I was going to knock him over. I was that excited that she was on the cruise, and she looked like she was having fun.
Oh, I can't.
I was
I mean,
so pumped
I
to
want to
meet her.
say, yeah. I mean, I want to say it was maybe one of the previews or something. The little for this cruise, but they were talking about like the first timers, and like there's some they're like, they say they're a little bit nervous, but once they get past and get up on that stage when they're being announced, it's like all that just goes out the door. All the fear or whatever you want to call it, the nerves are just gone.
Yeah, it's just waves and waves of love. Is even if you've never met people before, you instantly have something to talk with literally everybody, all of the except for the staff, everybody there is there for Star Trek. So you automatically have stuff to talk about. I've got two friends that I only get to pretty much get to see on the cruise, one of whom lives in Australia. But I look forward to seeing her on the cruise every year.
Wow,
You
all the
definitely
way
meet
from
all kinds of
Australia.
people. Yeah.
Well, and and I why that doesn't that really shouldn't shock me because last year I met someone at the Trek to Dallas convention. She came all the way from Australia because she wanted to see Gates McFadden. She is a just enormous Gates. Dr. Crusher is her person. And I was like, where are you from? Well, I mean, she had an accent. And she said, I'm all the way from Australia. I was like, that's a long trip. But you're right. I have met just in that one time so many people from all over the world that just come and just show up, and I'm like, wow. I mean, but it is a big community. I mean, I,
It's huge.
it's a huge community because I've already with doing this channel. I've already interviewed, which is, I mean, oh my god, it's you're blowing my mind now. But I interviewed three people that I met at the Dallas convention and they're all Star Trek fans and just just fun, and we had so much fun hanging out, and oh, man. But, Louisiana, California, LA, I mean, just a smorgasbord of everywhere.
Yeah, it's wonderful.
I can only imagine, and, like, I remember so I paid, like, the $100, whatever it was, to be able to book early on the cruise. Oh my god, like, I couldn't believe how fast I mean, I just saw a post, they're sold out, but it's it almost sold out day 1.
Yeah, it's been getting more and more popular. I'm not surprised it's sold out already.
Well, and I messed up. I had to call because we had this little special code to your early bird something. I put it in and I changed my mind on like what the room I was gonna do. And so I said like cancel reservation instead of change reservation. And I clicked cancel and I was redoing it and I put my code or I was trying to get back in. It says invalid code. I was like, oh my God. Please tell me I did not just like mess that one up. And luckily I called, which took me like 3 phone calls to finally get through, and the gentleman I was really I mean, super nice, and he's like, "You're fine. Here's you just" he found me, he said, "Yep, we're gonna" and he was so fun because I was like it's like, I was like, "It's just gonna be me." He's like, "Okay, look, I'm gonna put you in this room right here." He says, like, an interior cabin. He's like, You're not going to be in the room except to sleep. You're just going to get on, go to bed, and get up. There's no I mean, he instead of talking me upcharging me, he was like telling me, "Look, just take this cabin right here, and you'll be fine. You just need a place to sleep,
Oh
dude."
yeah,
and
yeah. We always
I
get a
was,
balcony cabin, but for me, it's worth it.
yeah. Well, yeah, I looked at balconies. Yeah, I was a little um, sticker shocked. I'm not gonna lie. And since I'm just a one, I have to pay, and you got to pay for a double. So yeah, I was like, oh, I mean, don't get me wrong. If I, had lotto money, I'd freaking gotten the royal suite just for the hell of it. But
Mm.
I don't have that.
Yeah,
That's
I like being able to stare out at the open ocean. That's my happy place. I find it incredibly calming. So for me, it's worth it to have the balcony so I can just go out there, and especially at night, it's super eerie, and I love it.
I I I agree. I like I said, first time, I'm just gonna kind of just dip my toes in it, and then if it, when I and if I be, and become I'll become a renewer, a returning, then you get that discount as a return. As so, it'll help offset it. But yeah, still, I'm looking forward to that. Um, and I just, man, we could talk hours on that dang cruise because it just sounds like so much freaking
Oh yeah.
fun. I cannot
Hmm.
wait to be out
And
there.
if you ever make it to 5, you are inducted into the cruise collective. There's a whole assimilation ceremony and everything. It's so great.
Oh my god.
It's a lot
I'm
of
a
fun.
little I'm a little scared now. I'm a little scared now about that.
There is
Um,
room in the collective.
oh my gosh, Carrie. Oh, I think I have about 2, maybe 3 more questions. Um, is there an episode of all the shows that really just that was really memorable and, like, impacted you that you remember?
Mm. That's a there have been more in this rewatching going through with the seventh rule with TNG there have been episodes that hit a lot differently than they used to, but on first watch is probably the DS9 finale. There's something about it. There's something about a finale. I get weepy.
Mhm. No, I agree with you. I actually still, um, get a little bit, weepy when even in TNG. I mean, that's been years, and when they're, the ending of it's like, man, that's just, something about it. And then when they start doing like you said, they start doing the montage on DS9. Oh, that's a gut wrencher there. So we're not gonna talk about we're not gonna, no tears.
Yep.
No, and
Yep. I have
no
a guilty
tears.
pleasure favorite with TNG, but that one's not till the seventh season, so we haven't gotten to that one yet. But I can't wait to hear what Sirach thinks of Sub Rosa. I am unapologetic in how much I love that episode.
Oh my god. I was not expecting it to be that one. Oh my goodness.
Yep. I
Yeah,
even
I'm
went to
trying to think.
a live show of a different podcast called The Greatest Generation. They do live shows occasionally. This poster
Uh-huh.
here behind me is the poster I got from their live show of that episode. It
Oh my
I love
gosh.
it.
I I hope I'm still
Is it
around
perfect?
when we're
No, but I love it.
I know. I'm hoping I'm still, a member when we get that I stay that long. I mean, I don't plan on going anywhere, but yeah, you never know. Stuff life happens, but oh my gosh, that'd be fun to talk to about. Um and then I'm trying to think of other ones that would be I'm sitting here looking ahead of I'm looking into the future now to see which ones. It'd be interesting to see what he thinks about Descent, part 1 and part 2. Hmm, interesting. I don't know. Well, we've got to finish season 5 first, which we're almost there. I can't
Oh yeah, there are
honestly.
some bangers coming up. Oh,
I know. I just can't believe honestly how fast we're making our way through these this year. I just it's just blown my mind. But I mean, we're almost done with season 5. Um, I'm really looking forward to the next phase. I always have liked that one when Jordy and Roe are phased. I'm that's one of my that's one, and then we have Iborg is coming up here. Yeah, I I always wonder, and I don't think she probably doesn't care, but I always wonder if every now and then if Michelle Forbes thinks, man, I should have taken the DS9 job and been
yeah,
Kira.
it would have been interesting.
Hmm. It would have, but listen, but now that obviously if we've watched it, I can't see anybody but Nana being Kira though.
Oh, for sure. And she's so great on the it's like on the cruise. We've chatted a few times on there, and she does a little thing usually one point during the week to ask Mama Nana. So people submit questions, and she gives advice, and she always gives just the best advice.
I was surprised when I saw her on I don't remember what podcast I was watching, but and she's always like, "This is Mama Nana," and I was like, "Oh, that's so neat." Oh, yeah. I also realized, if I'm not mistaken, Denise goes on like all the cruises as well.
Oh yeah, yeah. She's been on all of them, and she does a fantastic thing like in the late evenings every year called Interstellar Improv, where she takes an episode of TOS, turns off the volume, gets a few other Star Trek actors on there with her, and they make up their own dialogue for the episode. Every year, it is hysterical. Like you're crying, you're laughing so much.
Oh my
And
gosh.
the start of it was just a weird fluke. They were just showing an episode one day, and on the first cruise, and the audio wasn't working. So she grabs a mic and just starts chatting, and it was so popular they had a, a couple days later where a port got canceled. If I'm remembering the story right. Apologies, Denise, if I get this wrong. But yeah, they had a port that they couldn't go to, and they asked Denise if she could do that again, and yeah, and it's become a thing she's done every year on the cruise since.
Oh man, I didn't know about. Okay, okay.
Hmm.
I'm ready. Let's get there
Yeah,
now. February
I
can't
think
get
she
here
got
fast.
Ciroc one of the years he was on,
Ah, okay.
and last year
2026
Todd
February needs.
Stashwick.
Uh-huh. It needs to get here
Todd Stashwick is
ASAP.
so great.
Oh God.
He's so
Yes.
funny. He's genuinely funny.
He is. I I'm trying to remember. I did talk to him at one of the conventions and about like Picard and all this stuff. And when he did his autograph, I took one of his Shaw, and on the autograph he wrote no. He put it down there.
Mhm.
He's like no. I was like,
Yeah,
oh
yeah.
man.
He was a late addition. He was a late addition one year on the cruise, and the they showed the premiere of that season on the cruise. Everybody got to watch it. His I think his autograph session was like the next day or day after. So all anybody knew of his character was just that first episode on the cruise. And we were in the main dining room leaving as we were, I can't remember whose autograph we were there for. And as we were leaving, we saw Todd's table and there was nobody there. So Eric and I went to the desk to that you can buy autographs on the cruise at, bought his, bought a ticket for his autograph, went back in, and we stood there and chatted with him and got his autograph. He had nobody in his line. We felt
Oh
bad.
my gosh.
We probably stood there and
Wow.
talked to him for a few minutes. And yeah, all I knew of him was him when he was on American Horror Story. So that's where I knew him from, was American Horror Story.
Wow. Boy, they shouldn't have shown that episode. I've got my standard issue. Last question. It's easy. Well, we'll see. What Star Trek technology do you wish existed today?
Transporter, easily. I've got rods in my back from having scoliosis surgery when I was 13. So long flights like to London and back, my back does not enjoy. I do not get any sleep on those flights because I can't slouch enough to get comfortable. So if I could have a transporter, you I would be all over the globe if I could have a transporter.
It's still my preferred one, obviously, because of that. I don't, for that same reason. I lived in the state that I live in, Texas, so everything's a long drive, and so if I could, beam myself to Dallas or Houston or Chicago or wherever, oh, it would sure make some trips I've taken. Like, yeah, I've had some trips last year that I was like, oh, that were just whirlwind out and back type things. And when I got home, I felt like it'd been, a week, and it took me a week to recover. But yes, transporters, that would be my number one. So, oh, well, Carrie, I appreciate you giving your time this evening. And it was fun to talk. I always love talking Star Trek with my friends, and especially the ones I've made through Star Trek. And I don't see, we'll be here for a while. I think I'm not going anywhere anytime soon. That's my plan.
Yep. Same
All
here.
right.
You'll have to drag me away.
That's right. Well, thank you again, and I will talk to you later. You have a good evening.
Thank you for watching The Transporter Room. For just $5 per month, enjoy ad-free access to this episode and all previous ones, plus exclusive bonus content. Sign up now on Patreon.